By the mid-6th century CE, the mighty Gupta Empire was in decline, its authority fading across the subcontinent. In Bengal, this collapse created a power vacuum. As local chieftains and governors asserted independence, the region fragmented into competing states, with shifting alliances and frequent betrayals. Bengal's people, once part of a unified empire, began forging a distinct identity, focusing on their own cultural and political futures. Archaeological finds, copper plate inscriptions and land grants reveal a patchwork of small kingdoms, each vying for legitimacy. Rulers like Gopachandra and Samacharadeva governed localized territories, marking a clear break from Gupta centralization. This era was not just about conflict. It was a time of adaptation, as new rulers modified Gupta systems to suit local needs. Artistic and architectural styles evolved, blending imperial influences with regional traditions. Amidst this turmoil, the foundations for a uniquely Bengali identity were laid, setting the stage for the rise of a unifying leader. The chaos of the post-Gupta era was the crucible in which Bengal's future would be forged. As Gupta power faded, two major regions emerged in Bengal: Banga in the south and east, and Gaur in the north and west. Banga's rulers, like Gopachandra, asserted independence, maintaining some Gupta traditions but ruling as sovereigns over fertile riverine lands. Their influence was local, and their reigns were often precarious, but they pioneered Bengal's tradition of self-governance. In the north and west, Gaur rose as a strategic power, controlling vital land routes and fertile plains. Initially under later Gupta influence, Gaur's local chiefs, Mahasamantas, grew increasingly ambitious. The distinction between Banga's deltaic lowlands and Gaur's elevated heartland would shape Bengal's political geography for centuries. It was from Gaur, not Banga, that a new power would rise, one that would unify Bengal and challenge the great empires of northern India. This leader was Sasanka, who transformed Gaur into the seat of Bengal's first true kingdom. Sasanka, Bengal's first great sovereign, began as a powerful feudatory in Gaur. By 606 CE, he declared independence, establishing his capital at Karnasuvarna near modern Murshidabad. Sasanka's kingdom rapidly expanded, encompassing much of Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha. He styled himself Maharaja, Great King of Kings, signaling his imperial ambitions. For the first time, Bengal was united under a single ruler with a strong administrative structure and a stable economy. Sasanka's reign marked Bengal's emergence as a major political force, capable of resisting outside domination. His centralized state challenged the dominance of Magadha and Kannauj, laying the groundwork for future Bengali empires. Sasanka is remembered as the king who put Bengal on the map of ancient India. Sasanka's rise brought him into direct conflict with Harshavardhana, the powerful ruler of Kannauj. The spark was the turmoil in Kannauj. Sasanka, allied with Malwa, attacked, killed King Grahavarman, and imprisoned Harsha's sister. Harsha, seeking revenge, launched a bitter war against Sasanka, a struggle for supremacy in northern India. The Harshakarita, written by Harsha's court poet, paints Sasanka as a villain. But this is a biased account. Sasanka was a master strategist, forging alliances and outmaneuvering his rivals. He was accused of treachery in the murder of Harsha's brother, further fueling the conflict. Despite Harsha's might, Sasanka held his ground, defending Gaur for years in a grueling war of attrition. His resilience proved Bengal's strength and his own military genius. Sasanka was not just a regional chieftain. He was a monarch who could challenge the greatest powers of his day. The conflict defined the era, with Bengal standing as a formidable eastern power. Sasanka's defiance would become a model for future Bengali rulers. Unable to defeat Sasanka alone, Harsha allied with Bhaskaravarman of Kamarupa, encircling Gaur from west and east. This grand alliance aimed to crush Sasanka and end Bengal's independence. Despite being surrounded, Sasanka's leadership and the loyalty of his people allowed him to defend Karnasuvarna and his core territories. Even hostile sources admit he never submitted to his enemies. Only after Sasanka's death in 637 CE did Gaur fall, his kingdom quickly unraveling without his leadership. Bhaskaravarman seized Karnasuvarna, and Harsha extended his influence over Bengal. The rapid collapse of Sasanka's empire showed how central he was to its strength. Yet his resistance proved that Bengal could stand against the mightiest empires. Sasanka's legacy was a lesson in unity and defiance for generations to come. Sasanka's reputation is clouded by accusations of Buddhist persecution, mainly from Harsha's court poet Banabhata and the Chinese pilgrim Xuanzang. They claimed he destroyed the Bodhi tree and Buddhist monasteries, painting him as a fanatical Shaivite. However, these accounts were shaped by political hostility. Harsha was a Buddhist patron and Sasanka his enemy. Archaeological evidence, like the Buddhist monastery at Karnasuvarna, suggests a more complex reality. Sasanka likely promoted Shaivism and may have withdrawn support from Buddhist institutions aligned with his rivals. The image of him as a ruthless persecutor is likely exaggerated propaganda. In truth, Sasanka used religious patronage as a tool of statecraft, as many rulers did. His reign marked a shift towards Shaivism in Bengal, but not the destruction of Buddhism. Sasanka's religious policies reflected the political struggles of his time, not simple intolerance. Sasanka's reign was a turning point. He unified Bengal, giving it a political identity and a powerful voice. He proved Bengal could be more than a province. It could be a sovereign kingdom, shaping its own destiny. His resistance to Harsha inspired a tradition of independence that future dynasties, like the Palas and Senas, would build upon. Sasanka's patronage of Shaivism helped define Bengal's religious landscape for generations. His gold coins, bearing Shiva and Lakshmi, symbolized both his economic power and religious vision. Karnasuvarna became a major political and cultural center under his rule. Though his kingdom did not survive long after his death, Sasanka's impact was lasting. He was the architect of Bengal's first great experiment in unity and independence. Sasanka is celebrated as Bengal's first great king, the man who dreamed of a sovereign Bengali state and made it real. His reign marked the dawn of Bengal's political history as the region began to write its own story.